We have completed 2 sessions up to now, and which has covered chapter 1 and half of the chapter 2. So, from this session 3 onward, we will be continuing that. At last, we completed at blockchain and cryptocurrency. So, now we will talk about why information system controls. Okay, you can see that in information systems there should be control. If there is no any control, there will be so many issues. As you have seen that in your working place also, if the system that you use are controlled by the management, by the IT people, then of course that will be running well. Otherwise, if there are no such controls, what will happen is some of the people will misuse that, and also there can be so many errors which can harm to the system. General controls. What are these general controls? Control the design, security and use of computer programs and the security of data, files in general throughout the organization, example block and access card. Those are kind of general control, even admin people can establish that. Then as an example, for the server rooms, we can have a lockable door and also can have access card like that. When you are entering the office also, there can be some access card. Those are the things called general control, right? And there are application controls. What are those application controls are? Specific control unique to each computerized application, such as payroll, account receivable and order processing. There can be so many software applications that will be using in your organization. So, in order to minimize, in order to safeguard the systems, there should be controls. As an example, if it is HR system, if it is a marketing division system, or let us say a genuine example is examination division has a application. So, if there are control for managing the system, then of course that will be running well. Otherwise, so many people can come inside the system and get some of the information, and they can edit those information as well. So, therefore, any organization who are establishing this kind of applications, the software application, they will be having application controls. What are the other controls? So, we talk about the main two things is general code and application code, and there are some other controls as well. Controls over physical access, and it's also such as general control. So, we divide it into general control and application control. So, there is a general control such as physical access control, preventing unauthorized individuals gaining access to an organization, IT and assist. So, we can have fire alarm, fire control, door lock, electronic doors. Those are simple examples that I have given to you. So, logical access control. So, HR system, HR manager can have admin logins. Likewise, in the application level, in the application controls which have given here, that also can be controlled by using logical access control. And operational controls, ensuring that organization day-to-day activities run efficiency, segregation of duties, audit trails. So, when doing the operations in your organization, the management should have established operational control to control the people and also the physical resources. And most of the organization what they do is they segregate the duties. They segment the duties and gives to people, and then let us say if it is IT control, that will be given to IT admin. IT admin will be having server control and network control, and there can be some other security guy who will be dealing with the security controls. And likewise in the admin division also they will be having some of the general controls, and there can be audit trail likes. So there should be so many audit trails to track what I have done in the system and also in the physical access. And controls over data input. When inputting data into a system, you may have seen that let's say if you are going to put your birthday in a system, so that will control automatically saying that your birthday is incorrect, it is not as per the format that we have given. Likewise, when we are entering some letters, some text inside the numerical field, so that also will calculate answer. You have entered some characters, not the numbers. Likewise, those control can be embedded in systems. Cyber security. What is cyber security is? Actually, you are dealing in the cyberspace. Cyberspace is the environment in which communication over IT network take place. Cyber security is protection of system, network and data in cyberspace. So you are in the cyberspace here. It has the IT network and you are communicating in that environment. So you are with the internet actually. Then cyber security is the protection of system. Those there can be so many systems which have interlinked through this network, through the internet, and then those systems should have security to safeguard the data in the of the office. So there should be some security. That's what most of the organization is concerning about cyber security. And let's talk about these questions. Cyber security is concerned with which of the following? The protection of networks, systems and data in cyberspace. The same wording which I have given here is copied here. So this kind of question will come to the examination, and if you remember about these protection systems, network, so you can definitely select the correct answer. Cyberspace is best described as which of the following? What is cyberspace? In the cyber security, only two things they will ask. One is what is cyber security and the other is cyberspace. So you have to remember these two things. And an environment is which communication over IT networks takes place. And it's an environment where communication over IT networks, there are so many IT networks available. So you can easily select the answer for that. For an organization IT assistant system to operate effectively, it is critical that adequate controls measures are in place to help prevent which of the following. So those are in place for what? Theft, fraud and human errors. So those from preventing from those things, it is established. So this is the answer for that. Which of the following practical measures can be implemented in the area of IT and IS security control? What is the practical measures? Regularly updating software and hardware to ensure controls remain fit for the organization. Most of the organization, sometimes some of the organization, because of the cost factor, they are not updating the softwares and hardware. So what will happen is, if the softwares are not updated, there can be some loopholes that hackers can come inside and do their activities. So in order to prevent for cyber attack like that, so the updated software should be there. As an example, if the virus guard that is available in your machines, if it is not updated, what will happen is cyber attack can come. So there can be so many viruses coming inside the computer. So, in order to safeguard those activities, the cyber attack activities, what we have to do is we have to have updated softwares and hardwares. Cyber security in organization. All the organizations are prefer to this, but because of cost factor, some of the organizations are not having this. Teach the employee about cybersecurity in the organization. Actually, if you have a very good cybersecurity system in your organization, you have to teach the staff. Even though you don't have a cybersecurity, but you can safeguard any attacks from external parties if you have guided your employees well. So, all the employees in the organization should be aware of the cyber security, and employing a chief information security officer. Most of the organization this security information security officer is placing because there are so many cyber activities. There are so many system dealing with the network. So, therefore, in order to safeguard that, there should be a key personnel, that is the CISO. In the event of cyber attack, there is a team of individuals with the required responsibility to address the matter. So, there can be a guideline that you can develop to safeguard the safeguard from the cyber attack. So, there can be a team of people who will be responsible when there is such an incident. And cyber security conscious culture, you have to establish a cyber security conscious culture. Actually, this when there is a cyber attack is published, then you will be aware in that, then you will become conscious for the cyber security culture. So, you will be thinking, oh, if there is a cyber attack, what will happen? We have to safeguard our system. But after 1 or 2 weeks later, what will happen? You will forget that one. So, always the CISO says responsibility is to establish a very good cyber security conscious culture within the organization. Learning from past security breaches. If there are some security breaches broken, so there should be some fast experience because of this issue, this has happened. So, we never make it happen again. So, likewise, we have to safeguard the systems. Organization tolerance to the cyber attack, cyber risks. If there are some cyber attacks come into action, so what are you going to do? Are you tolerable? It means, can you safeguard your system if there is a cyber attack like that? Can you disconnect all of your network and work remotely in an organization? So, there can be a process that you can develop. Practical measures to enhance the organization existing IT control. So, your existing IT controls can be enhanced. So, there can be some practical things, practical measures. It means when you are going to implement some controls, what are the issues will come. So, what are the issues? Continued planning. Actually, if you are going to establish IT controls, there should be continuity planning. It means plan to continue when things goes wrong. So, before something goes wrong, we have to plan. It is a continued plan. If there is a disaster, so what are you going to do? So, you have to continue your business. You cannot stop your business. Even this corona period, what has happened is most of the organization came into online mode. So, we should have prepared the continued plan. Some of the organizations who were not thinking about this continued planning, they were struggled to get into online mode. So many years, about 6 months, 1 month, they struggled to come into action. But if you had a continued planning, if everything goes wrong, what are you going to do? Likewise, you should have a continued planning to continue the business. System development, maintenance, updating. So, you have to update the systems. So, and trustworthiness of staff, personal security measures. It means that when you are recruiting people, you have to concern about this trustworthiness. If the staff who are working in the organization, if they are not trustworthy, It means if they do some bad things to the organization, and if they mislead the information, if they steal the information, so that is a big problem. So, asset classification and control give ownership to the staff. So, each of the assets which is available in the office has to be owned by staff members. So, ownership will be given, then they will be responsible to secure the equipment and also the other IT resources and physical resources. And compliant measures, policies and procedures. So, we have to develop the policies and procedures. Then of course, there are be policies. So, you have as a staff member, you have to adhere to those policies and procedures. So those are the guidelines, the policies, procedures you have to establish within your organization. In terms of compliance, organization, this is a question. In terms of compliance, it means this is talk about this one, policies and procedures. Organization need to ensure that organizations policies related to IS and IT infrastructure and data exist and are aligned to which of the following. So, compliance directly dealing with data protection and GDPR. GDPR means General Data Protection Regulations. European Union has established this one. So, there is a policy. So, when this you can read in the study pack also, this explained very well, and also if you type in Google, you can get a very good idea about this General Data Protection Regulation. So, I am not going to explain this further. So, you have to understand that there is a kind of compliance features given in this General Data Protection Regulation. So, this is the answer for that. Management of technology. So, management and technology. There is the technology, but it has to be managed. As we talk about here, there are so many controls. Here we talk about controls. See, why we are establishing controls to manage. So, management of technology refers to the design and use of means needed within the organization to achieve economic and social objective through technological innovations. This is the MOT, management of technology. So, there can be natural science, social science, industrial practice, business theory, engineering. So, technology is available and it has to be managed. Without managing the technology, there will be so many issues come across. So, as a question, it is simply given what does the acronym of MOT stand for, that is management of technology. Stages of technology life cycle. What are the stages? There are 4 stages. When technology is developing, there should be some stages. The number 1 is research and development. You have to do the research, and the already established product also should have development. So, then you should do researches, and also for the new products development you should research and innovative product can be put into the market. And ascent, time frame, let's talk about time frame. From product invention to the point at which out of pocket costs are fully recovered. It is the stage that you are requiring the cost. In order to develop, you may have done so many research and you have spent a lot of money. So, there should be a time that you will be reaching the expenses. So, that is called as maturity. So, after putting the products into the market, so you will be mature. New innovations become accepted by the general population. So, you have invented the product, the new product you invented by using research and development, and you have reached the expenses, and then you are in the maturity level. So, new innovation become accepted, this is accepted by the general population, the public, the people you like you will be accepting the product in the market. So, that is the maturity that talk about. Thereafter, there can be some decline because some other competitors come into the action and there will be new products. So, there can be a decline stage. So, it is rotating like a cycle, that is what is called technology life cycle. Technology acquisition, what is called technology acquisition? It's acquiring of technology. Technology acquisition involves bringing new technologies from external sources rather than the using the firm's own internal research and development activities. So, most of the organizations are willing to take this action because they do not need to do any research and development, they just buy the technologies, they pay and buy it. So, okay. There's I put this in as a slide, software development life cycle in one of the question in the study pack course, no, in the revision kit. There was a question for SDLC, that is called software development life cycle. When developing software, there is a life cycle. Likewise, in this stages of life cycle, the technology stages of technology life cycle, this is going like a cycle, right. In software development also, there can be requirement analysis, defining those requirements and designing the systems. Designing is you are it's like art that you are doing, that you are designing the what should be the system like, and coding will be there thereafter, and do the testing. You have to test the system, and then some other development, you have to develop it well and then maintain. Deployment. So, after testing, there so final product will develop and then it should be deployed, it should be installed and then maintenance. So, it is going like a cycle. So, here that question has given, which of the following best describes software development life cycle? A structured approach and technology used to implement a technology project. Please remember that SDLC used to develop a technology project. When the software development project is there, that cycle is used, and there are some new methods that most of the software development industry people are using. This is the very old method, it was using many years. One of the questions that the organization need to ask prior to acquiring new technology. Before acquiring new technology, it means before you purchase a system, what are you going to think about? That is, can this technology be developed in-house? Whether do we have the resources to develop? But in today's world, that most of the organizations are willing to acquire technology rather than developing in-house, because they are not the people who are expertise in that area. Let us say if the CSE Lanka is going to establish in-house development team, in-house software development team, it will be high cost, and those the people whom we are recruiting will not be having sufficient knowledge to develop the system, and also they will not be updated within their environment. If it is developed by a software development company, they are up to date and they know new technologies, they know how to secure the system, and so they are the key personnel who will be involving in developing the system then. So, easiest way is the easiest and safeguard way is acquiring new technologies, but there is a cost involvement. How many phases are considered standard for a project life cycle? How many phases? How many stages? Can you remember this one? Here, how many stages? Research, ascent, maturity and decline. So, this is the answer for that. So, likewise this is a simple questions. If you remember the stages of the project life cycle, so you can definitely answer for this question. Why an organization might require new technology? Why you need the new technology? Can you run the systems? Can you run the organization business with the old system? So there will be questions. That is why we have employed some of the IT personnel to answer for these questions. So why you need the new technology? That because of old system, slow out of memory, difficulty in upscaling, it means upgrading is very difficult, and poor data management, data is not managed well, poor security management, there can be cyber attack and so many people can go inside the system, there is no any security, and no integration, no availability to link to external cloud based systems. So now at present we will be using some cloud based system, but the present old system that you are using will not be having the facilities to link with the cloud system. So a lack of analytical and reporting capability. When you want to get some report, it gives very limited reporting. So that will be a bad thing if you have such kind of system. So new products or services requiring new technologies. For the new products that you are going to establish in your organization, that you are going to develop in your organization, that may need some new technologies, but with your old system you cannot do those things. So I think you are well understood about that why we need new technology. Four main areas when implementing a new technology initiative. What are the four main areas? So you are going to implement a new technology in the organization. There can be so many areas. What are those areas? Identification of need, a problem or opportunity. Actually, there should be a need. If there is no need of the information system, why you are going to develop that? Before you develop a computation, let's say, if it is an institute, this is the Chartered Institute. If you have only 50 number of students, do you need a system? No, you can manage it via manual system. If there are large number of student base, actually you cannot manage them manually. That's why we need the system. So identification need, whether it is needed or not. Development of a solution. It is required to give a solution, and also implementation and completion. So when implementing, those things has to be identified. There is a need a solution, development of a solution, and implement the solution is developed, then implementation and completion. This is a question that I have given, which of the following is one of the four main areas when implementing a new technology, that is identification of a need. This is the answer given in this theory, right. There are a variety of reasons why an organization might require new technology. Why organization need new technologies? Which of the following is applicable? The old management information system lack functionality. So when you read about reading this, when you are reading these other answers, this is the answer that you can guess. So the objective of project management is a successful project. A project will be deemed successful if it is completed what? At the specified level of quality, on time and within the budget. So there can be a project, that project should be successful if it is at the completion state, it should be successful, and also then it should have what? Quality, it should have delivered on time. If it is delaying so many years, what will happen? There should the new technologies come into action. So your system that you have developed will be very old, and within the budget you have to do it. Sometimes the budget can be increased because you are not aligning the scopes of this project. Quality, cost and time are normally regarded as the yardstick against which project successfully is measured. It is possible to add the fourth yardstick. What do you suggest the fourth? There is a quality, cost and time. Quality is there, cost is there, time is there. So, there is one functionality, one thing that will change all of these. What is that? Scope, the functionality of the system, the scope of the system. That say you are going to develop a system that is suitable for the CSE Lanka, but tomorrow another branches or another business objectives will come into action. So, you are not going to develop the new system for that new objective. So, therefore, because of the scope, the cost will be increased, the quality also has to be measured again, and also time also will increase. So, initially you have to define the scope of your project, otherwise there will be dragged in so many years. Digitization and business value. What is the digitization and why there is a business value? While online sales, social networking and mobile application have given more value when it comes to digital. So, in nowadays because of this corona situation, most of the companies have come into digital. The technology and digital transformation can drive business value in 4 different ways. What are those 4 different ways? Enhance connectivity. So, if you are in digital, if you are having a technology establishment in your company, so it enhances the connectivity with others and also with the inside staff, and automation of manual tasks. Earlier there were so many manual tasks, now it can be automated. Improved decision making, so it is easy to do the decision making, now we have the information in hand. Product and service innovation, so we can have new product and services. So, because of digitization, there are so many business values received. So, these are the business values received because of digitization. So, in this person McKinsey, he is talking about these 4 different ways. So, in the question paper also sometimes they will be asked about what McKinsey says. McKinsey's report suggests that technology can drive business value in how many ways? Here the same thing has given. Technology can drive and digital can drive business value in 4 different ways. What are these 4 different ways is asked here. How many ways they are asking? That is 4. Here we have 4. Due diligence. What is the due diligence? Reasonable step taken to avoid committing an offence. Before making an offence, before committing a mistake, we have to avoid that. That is explained as the success of the use of technology depend on how the technology is selected, implemented and managed. How it is selected, how it is implemented and also how it is managed. Infosys system fails due to what? So, because of what reason Infosys system fails? Use of the wrong problem. Sometimes they are using the wrong problem. Senior management are not interested. If there is no push from the senior management, the system cannot be implemented. Users are ignorant in design and development. When the users are not willing to accept the design of the system, there can be so many situations like when they are practiced to do things in the manual system, they are avoiding the avoiding to face for the changes of the environment. So, change management should come into action then. No attention is given to behavioral factors in design and operations. When design and operations are going on, the staff and the people who are involved will not be giving their attention. So, because of that reason, the information system can be failed. That can be a very good system that you are going to implement, and also you have spent millions of money, but the people who are in the organization, if they are not accepting those, if they are not interested, if you have selected the wrong problem and because of such things, the information systems can be failed. Let us talk about acquisition. What is this acquisition is? We talk about acquisition of technologies, right, earlier. So, acquisition are transaction in which the ownership of companies or other business organization or their operating units are transferred or consolidated with other entities. So, there is other entity, your company, let us say CSE Lanka is transferring the ownership with some other institute. Likewise, so acquisition are transaction in which the ownership of companies is transferred. So, acquisition models, there can be so many acquisition models. Let us talk about one thing, the partnering and agreement arrangement between organizations of people to work together, Starbucks, Spotify, Apple, MasterCard. So, they partner with some other companies to develop kind of services. External partnering is there, joint ventures, franchising and strategic alliances in which arrangements are established with external third parties with a view to achieving a common purpose. Let us say when computer parts, vehicle parts, so they are partnering with some other parties. If the Toyota people want to develop the new car, they should have some new tires. So, they are partnering with some other people to provide tires. Likewise, external partnering can be there. What is the strategic alliances? That is a type of external partnering that involves cooperation between two or more parties. That is external partnering. So, that is called the strategic alliances. When it comes to external partnering, so you have to remember that is referred to as strategic alliances. Joint ventures. Two entities join to create a separate entity. Joint product development to develop robo. You may need to join venture in different areas. So, there are so many, let us say two institute is joining together and develop two software development companies joining together to develop a new institute. Why they want to develop a new institute? To develop their own student and recruit them for as employees. So, there can be some joint ventures, and because of the joint ventures they have developed a new product, that is the new institute. So, there are so many examples that I have given to you. We will talk about the questions. Which of the following is a type of acquisition model that can be chosen by the organization prior to acquiring new technologies? Prior to acquiring new technologies. So, it is called joint venture. So, they have joined together, they have not yet established any technology in the organization. So, they are going to develop a new product. So, that is established because of joint ventures. Which of the following models is not a valid way for an organization to manage an acquisition? That is not a valid way, right? What is it? Internal restructuring programs. External partnering is yes. Strategic alliance, yes. Joint ventures, yes. We talk about all these three things here. Here, joint venture, strategic alliance. So, this is the answer. Following is not a valid way. acquisition, strategic alliance. So, what is the strategic alliance? Actually, in this study pack, it is highly talked about. So, definitely there can be some questions coming to the paper sometimes. Strategic alliances are agreement between two or more independent companies to cooperate in the manufacturing, development or sales of a product. Ford and Eddie Berger, so they are joining together to develop the Ford car. So, independently two or more companies are joining together. So, franchising. So, McDonald's you can franchise the license. So, when franchising word comes, you have to remember it's talk about licenses. So, that the owner of the company, they will be the franchisor. One party grant the license to some other to it means giving the authorization to some other to continue the business. Okay, chapter 2 is completed. Now we are going to discuss about the chapter 3. Chapter 3 is digitalization of business and commerce. Comparison of the digital business with the traditional business. So, I briefly explain this one because this is a very easy thing that you can read and understand. So, I am not going to waste time for this one. Digital business in communication, digital and multi-channel, email, web, SMS can be there in the hybrid mode, combination of papers and digital. In traditional mode, there can be some papers. Tools like digital and web-based tools can be there, and company's history, legacy system can be there in traditional mode, and processes like automation processing is there, and also manual processing. Culture is smaller, younger companies, but very established, very old companies in traditional business. Experience, the fearless years of experience are there. Now they are. This is fearless in the digital business because there can be so many trial and error approach. Benefit of digital business. What are the benefits? When having digital business, will there be benefit? Yes. The business can be in 24/7 feedback loop because there should be that system should be available 24-hour basis. So, anytime this customers can interact with the business. Instant access to data to provide analytical and insights. So, data can be accessed at any time very speedily, and it can also be done. Customize and better user experience. That can have very good better user experience. Users can instantly join with the business, and the customization also is possible, and connectivity and integration to cloud based solutions. So, the system that you are having internally that can be connected to cloud based. So, there is a digital message. You can work even from the home. You can remotely work with the organization if there is a cloud based system. Scalability for system and data. So, we can upgrade, we can decrease, so many things we can do. Digital presence. Digital it is present, new contact and channel with customer. There can be new contacts, new channels, new communication lines. So, the customer at the heart of the universe, because you do not worry about where the customer is. He can be in far away, even in other countries. Better decision making. So, decision can be taken quickly, and that also can be do in a better way. It improves efficiency and productivity of the business and encourage innovation. So, that is we do because of research and development and also digitalization. There can be so many new innovations come into action, not like the old manual system. It makes communication and teamwork easier. It's easy to work in the digital platforms. As questions I have given, what is the benefit of digital business? What are the benefits? Benefit of digital business. So we talk about benefit, right? In the question also they will be asking instant access to data to provide analytics and insight. This here it is given. Okay. Which of the following best describe 24/7 customer interaction and feedback loop? Full two-way access to the customer base, providing the organization with full visibility actions. So this is the meaning of that. They are asking the meaning of that. Feedback loop. Normally, when it is come to online, that can be in any time that the users will log and comment. Let's say if it is an online system, there will be a comment, okay, I need this product, so when you can provide it. So we cannot wait until the last moment. We cannot, let's say if they are replying today, I need this product immediately. So if you are replying to them after 1 day or after 5 hours, 6 hours, so he will be joining with some other website and get the things done. So there should be a 24/7 customer interaction and also feedback loop, which means the feedback is like a loop is going. So from purchase to end, and also thereafter you will be having a interaction with the customer. Which of the following best describe the brand? If it is a brand, what will come to your mind? Yes, it's a symbol, mark, design, easily identifiable and representative of an organization. It's a simple question, right? Without knowledge of the BL8 also you can answer for this kind of questions. When creating a new brand online, what are the important factors? It should suggest something about the product and be short and memorable. If it is a brand, it's new brand online. So what are the important factors? If it is online, what are the important factors? So you have to consider that one. It should be short and memorable. So, so I am not going to talk about these other answers, right? Other wrong answers which is given in the question. I said this in the earlier sessions also. If I am reading this all, that times goes up because of time wasting. So I am referring the question as well as for the answer. But you have to read all the wrong answers as well as the right answers, then you can answer for the questions later after these sessions. 4 analytical types. So there are analytical types. What are those 4 analytical types? So if sometimes in the question paper there will be there are how many analytical types are there? So there are 4 analytical types. Descriptive analysis. It talk about what happened in the past, right? It easily you can memorize, you can understand by looking at these words. If it is descriptive analysis, it's providing a description. So they look at the statistic in past. So is guess what happened in the past, and diagnosis analysis. What has happened? What happened in the past? Why it was happened? Root cause analysis is there. Why did this happen? It goes into deep analysis. First of all, in the descriptive analysis, we are asking about what happened in the what has happened actually. So in the diagnosis, why it was happened? What the reason? The root cause is identified. Predictive analysis. Predict what will happen next. So something happened in past. Why it happened? So what will happen next? That is predictive. And prescriptive analysis takes predictive data to the next level. So all these things has happened. So we are predicting after 5 years, 1 year's time what will happen. So this is the prescription that is given. Why should you do? It suggests various causes of action and outline what the potential application would be for each. So, by looking at these words, you can understand. I have highlighted some words. By looking at those, you can understand what are those analytical types. Which of the following is a method used in data analytics? In data analytics, what is the method is? This one is predictive. Why we are doing data analytics is predict what will happen next. What is analytical and query software used for? Analytical and query software to produce report at any level of summarization, incorporating any comparison or relationship described. Normally query means is querying, is requesting some different algorithm to fetch the some answers, some summarization. So, it is summarizing and doing the comparison with one to another, and also relationship is compared. So, what is analytical and query software used for is this is the answer. What does descriptive analytics means? What the descriptive analytics means? Reviewing and reporting past data event. Descriptive here. What happened in the past? What happened in the past? Reviewing and reporting past data event. Which of the following is a type of analytics? Here easily you can see. So, like this question, it has what does descriptive analysis means. Sometimes they will have what does diagnosis analysis means, what does prescriptive analysis means. Likewise, so all these four analytical type will be questioned. Let us go to drawback and limitation of digital business. What are the drawbacks and what are the limitations? Immediate feedback. If it is in digital mode, you have to give the feedback immediately. You cannot wait until the last moment. And also privacy. There should be a high level of privacy. Private. Let's talk about in a way like private. So, in your personal life also there will be a privacy. So, that is the drawback, because sometimes you will be purchasing some products and commenting. So, your privacy goes out. So, people will know that you have purchased this product, and when you purchase the products, those information will be gathered by the companies. So, your prices is given to those companies. Likewise, your prices can be shared. So, those are the limitation actually. Security, challenges in terms of privacy. So, there can be so many security issues. You are dealing with some other product in the website. So, those information will be gathered by some other companies as well. So, those information can be sold to some other by those companies. So, there can be some privacy and security issues. Fake news. Challenges in areas of cyber security. Cyber attacks are target and difficult to predict. It can tarnish the brand name. So, there can be some fake news. So, that will spread everywhere in the digital business. So, those are kind of example of drawbacks and limitation of digital business. Which of the following best describe fake news? What are the fake news? Misinformation and share through a digital medium. You are misinterpreting and also misusing the information in digital platforms. In Facebook also, if it is a Facebook page which sell the product, so one person is selling, one company is selling the products in Facebook. So, then one person will say, okay, that product is very good, but there can be a competitor who will come inside and comment that the product is not good, and such kind of misinformation will be shared. Why could immediate customer feedback be perceived as a potential inimitation in digital business? Customers can form a view quickly and relay a negative view to other. So, in digital platform, there can be negative views that will feed in the online platforms. Technological development, data mining. What are the technical developments? Data mining and enhanced custom analysis. We talked about data mining earlier. So, data mining will provide more analytical for the big data as well. Big data can be used for deep analysis and providing information that can be used to gain knowledge insight in behavior patterns like dislike. So, in some kind of patterns, so they will describe the data. Targeted advertising. So, advertising can be targeted. Organizer can target individuals, news, ideas, product and services. Let us say CSE Lanka is targeting what kind of market base? A-level pass student. And then in A-level pass, they will be, if they are they going to dealing with maths student, maths pass student. Most of the time they are dealing with commerce student, because that is their target market. So, they are advertising to that target market. So, that is called target advertising. Cyber cryptocurrency, we talked about this cryptocurrency earlier in the blockchains. So, you will be familiar with that one now. And connectivity and IoT, Internet of Things. What is this Internet of Things? So, in the next few slides, we will be talking about that, and also there is a video about the Internet of Things. We will talk about that one in that side, then you will be getting a very good idea for that. And as a question that can be asked, like information that has been chosen to meet the existing requirement of the customer is called target advertising. Information that has been chosen to meet the exacting requirement of the customer. So, they are defining the customer's requirement, then they do the target advertising, that is mentioned here. Technological development and prediction. Futurology is the science. We predict the future. The study of sociological and technological development values and trends with a view to planning for the future. So, that is the planning. So, we need the data, we need the technology for what? For future plannings. So, futurology is the science. Please remember that this question, most of the time they will be asking these questions. What is futurology? So, you must have idea of that is talking about the future, planning for the future. Meta technology. What is meta technology? Normally in eye surgeries, like they are using this meta technology and laser cutting, and for some industrial environment also, some laser cutting, this meta technology is used. These lasers are used for high variety of jobs, eye surgery, industrial cutting, to data from DVD, reading data, night in clubs also there are some meta technology is used to put the light like this. So, futurology is science and study of sociological and technological development. It is a science, futurology is a science and study of sociological and technological development. So, the word is the same, word is cut and paste here. See, if you remember this one, it's easy for you to write for these questions. What is futurology? Let's talk about here also. What is futurology? Science and study of sociological and technological development. Technological change can affect the activities of organizations by what? Modern product equipment, reducing the need of labor. the means and extent of communication with external clients. Technology changes can affect the activities of the organizer. Please remember this, and developing new raw materials. For all these things, the new technology is involved. When you read these answers, you can identify these things. The answer is all of the above. Which of the following is the social impact of technological change? Whether there is a social impact. People who were once collected together to work in factories and offices, home working will become more important. So, when working from home, the life is manageable. So, there is a social impact when working from home and working from factories. So, this is concerned here. Internet of Things. What is Internet of Things? It's a good topic. Actually, for the question paper, definitely this kind of a question will come, Internet of Things. I don't think that there will be so many questions from the Internet of Things, but you have to have very good understanding about what the Internet of Things is. A new thing what is talked about in the industry. What is Internet of Things? Network, a network of internet connected object. What is that? To the internet, some objects are connected. Let's say your printer, whatever computer, your phone, and those things are connected. Connected objects able to collect and exchange data. It is commonly abbreviation as IoT. In a simple way to put it, you have things that sense and collect data and send it to the internet. This data can be accessible by the things too. There can be things in the internet. It is connected. The network of internet connected objects. So, by looking at these wordings, you can understand it, but I will give a further explanation for this one. Example of IoT in business. IoT can benefits farmers in agriculture by making their jobs easier. When doing farming, there can be so many information that can come. So, IoT, the sensors can collect data from rainfall, humidity can be captured, temperature and soil content, and as well as other factors that would help automate farming techniques. When they are farming, those information can be gathered through different equipment. And I have explained this scene of product. There is an example video about the smart home. I will play that also, then you can understand what the IoT means. And scene of normally there is a device, you can buy this from the market also. So, you can connect your AC to this scene of device, and this is connected to the electrical equipment, and then it has given power, and then it is connected to the internet. Through the internet you can control this one. Let us say if you want to open your gate remotely, what you take the remote control and open it, but can you open it through internet? So, you are living in Australia, right? You want to open your gate in Sri Lanka, can you do it? Yes, you can do by using it using IoT. So, using this product, actually you can connect the gate into this scene of products, and then you can give the signal through this scene of products, then that the gate will be opened. Likewise, the different things can be controlled and managed through these IoT devices. Okay, we'll play that IoT video. So, how the life is simplified is talking about. Mom and dad is coming to home. It was identified. Open the door and it comes. Door is open. And going inside this also, it occupied. Room occupied. Vehicle informations are given. You have to push the petrol. The message will come. The car needs more gas. Garage is open automatically. Put the center sensors it is identified. It says if the door is open, so he's going to close it and go there. Current documents are 0. Yeah, dad is come back to work. Office is activated now automatically. Wake up the computer. Open in the shades. There's a meeting that will come into when he's coming on the way that message is goes, he's directly going to the meeting. So it's talk about speed, 35 speed. It says that you are seeing the speed, so he's reducing the speed now. It says sons and daughter in the class. So they are ordering some goods. Visit identification. Come for repair. That message come. He allowed through the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi access granted. Flood water identified. Bedroom occupied. Message is there. What is out of stock? Rice is out of stock. That message go to this lady. Rice and eggs are out of stock, so we'll buy it from somewhere. Order delivered. Process. And playing also those informations are captured through the sensors. More rain. at night also those lights are getting off automatically. Okay, let's talk about IoT. I think from that video you have gained a very good understanding about what is the IoT is there. All those devices are connected to the internet through two devices. So devices are connected. So objects are connected. Through that we can do so many things. So that is called IoT. You maybe think about having a smart house also. So such kind of things can come in future. There is a video that created by some people mentioning that such kind of smart houses will come in future. Which of the following could be described as an Internet of Things? Internet enabled home appliances. All home appliances are connected to the internet. Web connected TV. TV is connected to the web. Smart meter. Meter is metering as a smart device. So all of these are true. How does the Internet of Things work? Sensors and other digital technologies embedded in physical objects allow objects to connect together in a network. So you can understand this by when looking at the video also, you may be seeing that the sensors are connected. Which of the following could be described as a meta technology for lasers? Eye surgery is one example. What is machine learning? The use of algorithm to enable a computer to learn from previous responses. That is machine learning, and also that will be talked about in next slide also. Machine learning is like a robot that he will be understanding the behavioral of others, and that will be stored in the memory and they react thereafter, because those information are fetched and stored, and that is called machine learning. So we completed chapter 3. We'll talk about role of information system in business. This is the chapter 4. That has so many slides and also it has a lot of content. So that will take a little bit more time. Right? Information strategy. What is the information strategy? Information strategy can be divided into information system, information technology, information management. Right? So this IS, information system, that is supported by IT and IMS. Information management is supported, information technology is supported. So we will talk about it in brief. Information systems provide a long-term direction for the development of information system throughout the organization. IS strategy is supported by IM and IT. So it's a long-term direction in the organization, information system, development of information system throughout the organization. You may have seen that in your organization, some of the information systems are there. So it is purchased or developed in-house to control and manage some of the activities of your organization. That is why we have a computer system. The main interaction of the staff is with information system, but that interaction has to be supported by IT and IMA. IT means hardware and software. So if there is only hardware and software, can it be managed? No. There should be a management, information management. It means how the organization will control and manage information. The information available in the company, that has to be managed. This is where people come into actions. Right? So when it comes to information technology, you have to remember it's all about hardware and software. When it comes to systems, information system is talk about the system that is developed in the organization that has long term directions. And information management is the control and manage of information. Characteristic of IT and IS strategy. Here we call about IT and IS. Here they have avoided of this one because people involvement. These two things is digitally connected. IS and IT. Characteristics of IS and IT is talked about here. The writer Michael Earl argues that information systems and information strategy are too important to leave in hand of technology professionals alone. I have seen that one of the questions this same wording has given, right? He suggests the following characteristics of IS and IT strategy. High cost, that have high cost, you have to spend a lot of money. Critical to the success of many organizations, it is very critical for many of the organizations to be successful because of the cost factor, and as well as they must have very good updated technology to handle their business. So, it is a little bit critical. Use as part of the commercial strategy in the battle of competitive advantages. Battle of competitive advantages, like a battle in the competitive environment. You have to have very good IT and IS strategy to deal with the competitive market, because there are some competitors who have very good IT and IT strategies implemented. So, your organization also should have very good IT and IS strategies to compete in the market with the competitors. Impact on customer service. There is high impact on customer service because you are dealing with the customers directly now. So, its impact is very high with the customer. Affect all level of staff in the organization, all the level of staff will be dealing with this system. So, it means it is connected with the staff in the organization. Lead to structural changes within an organization. There can be some structural changes if you are going to implement IS and IT strategy. If you are going to buy a very good software, so what will have to do is sometimes you will have to change the structure of the organization. Even the hierarchy of the organization will have to be changed because of the system implementation. Sometimes now that you are having a very poor hierarchy of information communication, and also there can be a very poor hierarchy of people. So, you have to establish your organization hierarchy even when you are going to implement very good systems. Required effective management to obtain the maximum benefit. It required effective management. If there is no effective management, you cannot get the maximum benefit out of this IT and IC strategy. Involves many stakeholders inside and outside the organization. In inside and also in the outside, many stakeholders are involved. As questions, I am explaining this. What is the difference between information and information systems? There can be information and also information system. So, information inside the information system, there are information. So, information systems are storing informations, right. So, information is the gaining of value from data, and information system concerned with the storing of such data. So, information system is storing, information is the gaining of value from data. So, it is explained very clearly now here, right. Michael Earl argues that information systems and information strategy are too important to whom? Leave in hand of technology professionals alone. We talk about here. Michael Earl is saying that because IT professionals are the people who are key personnel to manage these information systems. So it's their hand. So they are the people who can manage that. When developing an IT and IS strategy, a firm should access which of the following. How important IS in the previous of provision of products and services? This is the answer for that. When reading about the other answers, you can immediately identify what is the correct answer for this one. When developing IS and IT strategy, a firm should access which of the following. What are the things that they are going to access? Information system may help in formulating business strategy. Yes, information system are there. They are going to help to formulate the business strategies by doing what? Provide information from internal and external sources. It provides the information from internal and external sources. So, answer is clear when compared with the other answers. Why information system fails? Failure of a very large IT investment might have negative strategic impact on the organization concerned, possibly even leading to business failures. So, in the previous session videos also I have given some one example like that one company in Sri Lanka, they were very good in software development and also in other IT services, including network installation, server installation, and they had very high profit. And what they did was they invest a lot for purchasing some product from foreign market. One of their key personals in the office who went abroad and purchased a lot of PCs, and they thought of selling these PCs in local market will be more profitable. So they invested their profit into that and spent a lot. Ultimately they brought the product here, but it was not sold. So what happened was, it's an investment that they did, but it was failed. It's a simple example for that. So when you are going to implement a very good information system, let's say if you are going to buy a ERP, ERP enterprise resource planning, that information will be given in a separate chapter. So if you are going to implement a very good ERP, you will have to spend a lot of money. But please make sure before you are going to implement that kind of a system, are you stable to carry out the operation of that system, and also are you stable to spend such kind of money, such amount of money. Why it is failing? Poor communication. Enterprise project usually impact a large amount of people that may have poor communication to the stakeholders. Then they will not be aware of what the system is. Ultimately they will not be accepting, underestimating or ignoring impact of the change. They are underestimating ignorance, impact of change. Change is not accepted, it is ignored. When you are going to implement the new system, there can be so many changes, so that is not accepted. Lack of leadership. There should be a very good leadership to implement the system. Sometimes most of the organizations, when they are going to implement a new system in the organization, they are appointing change agents. Change agents are like in the finance division, there can be a person who is involved in change agent as a finance guy. So in the IT, in the let's say in Sri Lanka, in the marketing division, there can be a person who will be dealing with this system. He is the key person identified by the management, and they are the people who is leading this implementation of the IT system. Lack of strong executive sponsorship. So executive level sponsorship should be there. If we take the example of Sri Lanka, the council sponsorship should be there to implement the IC system. And also poor project management. There should be a project leader who will be managing the project until the completion and also for the continuation. So then if there is no such leaders, the system can be failed because of that. And poor planning, you should have very good planning when you implement system. Let's say within 2 years duration, you identify 1 year duration, you will be identify all of the requirement as you have gathered, and you confirm the scope of the system. Then of course you will be sharing with the staff and all of the management and agree with that. Thereafter the development will do. So, and after 2 years duration the system will be completed, and that will be implemented thereafter. So, such kind of planning will be there. Trying to do it cheap. Sometimes most of the organization is trying to do it in a cheaper way. Let's say if you want a information system, sometimes they will say, okay, we will hire a software developer, let him to develop that. So, he will be doing the system as per his observation, as per his knowledge, but there can be so many loopholes inside the system, and also there can be so many technologies should to be involved in the system development, but that person is not knowledgeable on that. Therefore, doing it cheap is not the thing. You have to do the correct thing and without thinking about the cheaper products. Lack of technical knowledge. Technical knowledge is lacking in the organization means the staff is not knowledgeable to operate the system and also to manage the system. So, the very good awareness to be given for all of the staff when implementing a very good system. IT and IS is very important to an organization because why? A support activity, a key operational activity, potentially very important. It is important because support the activity, so all the activities is supporting, and key operational activity is that, and potentially very important strategic activity. Without IT, the firm could not function at all. Like Amazon, eBay, if there is no IT, that there is no any company like that. Some of the competitive advantages. So, some of the companies can run without even IT, but in today's world most of the things are connected to each other and that need IT. E-business and e-commerce. E-business is the use of electronic technology to support and transform business processes. E-commerce is the use of electronic technologies to buy and sell the product and services. You can, when you read about this e-business and e-commerce, when you are going to compare in those two wordings, what you can remember instantly is e-commerce is talk about payment thing, buy and sell products. E-business is support and transform the business processes. For the business, it support using IT, and this is called about the buying thing. We will talk about the comparison very quickly. Running business using internet is the e-business. Traditional trading merchandise over internet is termed as e-commerce. It's the payment of things. E-business is the broader concept and it's supported is subset of e-commerce. So, e-commerce is supportive to the e-business. E-commerce is the part of e-business, right? Is the subtext of e-business. Business transactions are carrying out, here commercial transactions are carried out. When you want to go pay something and get, so e-commerce is there. When you are going to dealing with the products, so the business transaction is there. Transactions are not limited, here transactions are limited. Main type of e-business are pure play, online only, brick and click, and there are some example. And also main type of e-commerce are B2B, B2C, C2C, C2B. So, these things will be explaining clearly in some in this next slides. E-business is not limited to monetary transaction, but this is e-commerce is limited to monetary transaction. And so, there are some other information as given to you by reading only that you can understand these things. So, I leave from this one and go to the next slide. What is e-business is? The use of electronic technology to support and transform business processes is e-business. Though next time in the next question, as the next question, if there, what is e-commerce is, you have to answer for that. Then you have to take this answer. What is e-commerce? Main type of e-commerce are, what are the main type of e-commerce? B2B, business to business. Business companies we join with some other companies and doing their business, selling the products to some other companies. B2B e-commerce, business to business electronic commerce describe online order transaction between businesses. And let's say the manufacturing business, they are selling it to the wholesalers and distributors. Likewise, there can be B2B, that is not the end customer. You are not dealing with the end customer. You are selling it to the let's say HP, the manufacturer of HP products, the laptop, this laptop, they are selling it to some other companies. That can be in Sri Lanka, Soplogic and Abans, Singer, there are some companies. So, they are selling it to them and they are the people who is sell it to the customer. So, there is a business to business deal. Business to customer. Business is directly selling to the customer. Transaction conducted directly between the company and the consumer. This means consumer is the customer and consumer, they are also a little bit differentiation. Let's say customer means you can buy the product, but the ultimate user is somebody else. So, you can be the consumer is the person who used to utilize that one, right. So, normally most of the people are talking about the customer and consumers are same, but there are two that both things are differentiated. Difference meaning is there, right. Consumer to consumer. So, consumer is selling to the consumer. Is the business model that facilitates commerce between private individuals. As an example for this B2B is McDonald's. McDonald's is selling their products directly to the consumer. The consumers go inside the McDonald's and eat the product. If it is a bun, that they go and eat, and there can be so many other products. And consumer to consumer like eBay, online auctions. So, they are directly dealing with the sellers mean the consumer. Consumer to business, customers to business known as C2B, customers selling their services or product to business. Is the same as a sole proprietor serving the large business. Google AdSense, freelancers who work on tasks given by the client. So, consumer is dealing with the business directly. E-business has an impact in many areas of operation management. What are the areas? E-business, electronic business has come into action in the operation management. What are those? In purchasing, they are involving. There can be so many purchasing platform build up in the organization. Enabling e-procurement, production, in production process, quality is control using electronically, scheduling, inventory management, market and sales, customer services. So, international, third party logistics, customer services, those are held by the e-business. Warehousing, inventory management is there, forecasting. So, this is where e-business has an impact in many areas of operation management. In operation management, these are the key elements that deal with the e-business. Strategic information levels. Strategic planning, management control and operational controls may be seen as a hierarchy of planning of control decisions. Anthony's hierarchy is this called as Anthony's hierarchy, right. Sometimes in the question paper they will have what is called Anthony's hierarchy. That is a strategic information level it talks about. Here in this question is directly how many level make up the hierarchy of planning and control decision. The Anthony's hierarchy. How many hierarchies there are? 3 hierarchies. The top one is strategic planning, and the middle one is management control. The last one is operation control. Here the strategic planning just by the top management, and management control the divisional managers who will be involved in controlling the activities of the organization. Operation control like the production environment, people who are working in the factories, they will be in that category, and also management is the divisional heads and also factory managers, those are the people. And information summarization report is going here from bottom to up. Information and then summarize and reports is going to top management. The objective of the top management goes as plan, and then instructions will goes, and then the target. So this is the going like cycle, right? See, from the operation platform they will be developing the product. Let's say 1000 of product developed per day. That information is goes and is summarized into how many product, what categories are, what will be the volume of income, and that will goes as a report to the management. Then after 1 month time, so 1 month report will be goes to the management. Then management will evaluate that and give the objectives. This is our objective. We have to reach this number of products per month. Then there will be a plan for that. That plan which goes down, and the instruction will be given to the operation people. Then operation people will the target, will doing the target. They will develop the product required for required by the management. This is how it goes. So these are the strategic information levels. How many levels? 3 levels. What are those? Strategic, management and operational. The operational level of the planning and control hierarchy focuses on which of the following? They focuses on controls. They talk about operation level of the planning and control hierarchy. Are they doing planning? No. Are they doing efficiency and effective? No. The answer is control. Level of management. We talk about strategic information level, how the information is flowing. We talk about here information level. So there are 3 levels, right? So in management level, level of management is also like same. Top management, middle level management, operational level management. So you have divided your organization into 3 clusters, 3 categories. That is top level, and middle level management and operational. In CSC Lanka will say top level management is council, and also CEO also can be there, and middle level management those divisional heads, and operational level people who are doing the business, who are dealing with the customers. Here operational information will flow, tactical information will flow, and strategic information will flow. And this for a long term planning, strategic information, they are thinking about the future, they are planning for the 5 years duration, 10 years like that. For making control related decision in the management, they are taking control related informations. For making day to day decision and short term planning, operation level, they don't want to think about very high planning. They are planning what the today's target is, what is the next 1 hour target is. Likewise, they are planning the short term things. Strategic information. I think from this side what I have explained is clear to you, but I will brief on that. Strategic information used at the top level management. Who are there? Chief executive directors, and also they gather the information from internal and external sources, right? management information, tactical information. This one is called a tactical. Normally in the question, sometimes they will be asking about tactical information without asking the management information. So you have to be understand what's the tactical information is same as the management information, right? Use at the middle level management within an organization, in the organization that is using at the middle level. Tactical information is required to achieve short term goals to achieve performance and profitability. So there was short term goal. Such information involve the period generally up to 5 years, while tactical information involve a period up to year. So normally we call it about 5 years plan, strategic information have 5 years plan. Strategic information will have 5 years plan, management information will have 1 year plan. Operational information have day-to-day plan. Use at the operation level within an organization. In hotel, as an example, in hotel operation information, how many rooms occupied and what are the rooms left and who are going to occupy and what will be the food capacity. Likewise, those information are there as operational level. As question, there are two questions given. What type of information is used by middle level management? What are the middle level managements are using? Yes, the given is given tactical information. They have not given the management information. They have given the word called tactical, right? Tactical information are used by which level of management? Middle level of management. And also sometimes is used top level of management, but the answer should be middle level of management, right? Characteristics of strategic information levels. What are the characteristics? Strategic information. We are talking about the first level now, right? This level, the top management, strategic information level. Okay, I will brief on this. Strategic information, management information and operational information, that is divided in this table as characteristics. Strategic information derived from both internal and external sources, generated internally managerial information, derived from internal sources. Summarize at high level the strategic information, summarize low level the management information, detail the processing of raw data in the information level. Relevant to long term is short term is immediate terms. As I said, 5 years, 1 year, today, daily. Concern with the whole organization, department wise and task specific. Often prepared on ad hoc basis, prepared routine basis and prepared very frequently basis. So those are the, by looking at this comparison, you can easily identify what are those information's characteristics. Both quantitative and qualitative informations are there, based on quantitative only. Largely quantitative, it's a number of units are required. Likewise, qualitative informations are there in the strategic information then. Focus on planning for future orientation, some focus on planning but generate focus on control than planning. So that's enough for that. Strategic level information systems. We talk about strategic level, top management. Strategic level information system SIS help senior management tackle and address strategic issues. To tackle and address the strategic issues, this information system are used, and it serve major functions of the organization such as sales, marketing, manufacturing, production, finance and accounting and human resources. So executive information system are strategic level information system, An executive level information system pool data from internal and external sources, that pool the data from internal and external both, right, and make information available to senior managers. So, senior manager can retrieve those data in an easy to use form. Let us say SQL respond quickly, has sophisticated data analysis and modeling tools. So, that in reporting wise, that summarization of data will be given by this executive information system to the senior managers to take their decision. So, that data will come through internally and also from externally. So, internal data will be gathered to the system and then fetch the other external data also into this and doing the comparison, because they want to take the decisions. Digital dashboard. What is the digital dashboard? This is an electronic interface. Here we have given electronic interface. Dashboards allow you to monitor your business performance. Let us say this is a executive information system, right. In that executive information system, this kind of this is not very much clear, but you can get the understanding, I think. This is the executive information system. Inside that there is a dashboard. When you log into the system, firstly you will see this competitive dashboard. That will talk about, that will show sale forecast by competitors. That is where they are interacting with external parties also to this platform. They are gathering the information, the system is gathering information internally and also for externally, and give the forecast to the senior management. Win loss report is there, how much win, how much loss, and in the area wise also given. Open opportunities, revenue by competitors, also given. Top 10 deals won, likewise sales pipeline by sales rep, for each of the sales rep, what are the sales pipeline and what they have achieved, what will be the amount they have achieved. All these things are given in this dashboard. So, when the senior manager log into the system, they promptly see this kind of a dashboard information, then they can go inside this dashboard information by clicking on one item. Let us say if you want to see a sales done by this person, then he click on that, then there is a drill down report. There is another report will come that will show the other informations. Okay. Type of information system. Earlier we talked about information, type of information and also information levels, and here we talk about information system. Information system level, it is divided into 4. We will talk about transactional processing, we will talk about it from the bottom, right. Transactional processing system is there, management information systems is there, decision support system is there, executive information systems is there. Earlier also we talked about executive information system. Executive information systems is used by executives for strategic decision. When they want to take the strategic decisions, they are using this system. Decision support system is used by senior managers for decision making. So, management info system is used by managers for operational efficiency. Transaction for system is used by co-workers of the organization for basic reporting. So, it is in hierarchically it is represented here. The information systems are categorized into hierarchies. This hierarchy does not mean that all these information level has different systems. No, there can be one system, that is the ERP maybe. So, in that system there are different information system levels for the senior managers and for the executives of the organization, and also managers and also for the co-workers, right. Executive information system, EIS. An executive information system pulls data from internal and external sources. That pulls data from what? Internal and external sources. We remember this one, and makes information available to senior managers. Is in an easy to use form, and EIS help senior managers makes strategic unstructured decisions. Now, informations of EIS can be represented in the form of digital dashboard. We talk about, we have shown you, this is the digital dashboard. So, in the EIS executive information system, that is there. As question, we will talk about what does an executive information system do? What is that doing? Pool data from internal and external sources and make information available to senior managers in an easy to use system. When there are EIS, you have to concern about senior management wording. That is how you can remember this one. EIS is likely to have which of the following characteristics? Flexibility and quick response time. EIS is this one. Executive level information system, right? Same wordings are given in these questions as well. If you look into this, see, pulls data from internal and external sources. Flexible and quick response time is the main characteristic of EIS. Okay, this session will conclude from this point, from this slide.